Welcome and thanks for joining us again on another episode. So today I'm going to be building some door panels just from scratch. I have never built some of these before. One thing I have learned from Medea, that comedian, it said I could do bad all by myself. So meaning I don't need to pay nobody to mess anything up for me. I can mess it up all by myself. Now I'm not talking bad about the people that do this professionally. I get it. I've seen their work. It's amazing. I know it's worth the money. However, I don't have that kind of money. So I'm going to build it myself with the tools that I got. So right now what I'm doing is just tracing out the lines just to kind of more or less know where the wood panels are going to be meeting up with these plastic panels. Trace it up here too as well. So it's kind of hard to get into this angle right here because I should have done this when I didn't have the dash on. It would have been a lot easier, but I didn't think about it then. So just tracing out as much as I could, pretty much whatever it's going to stay on there, and I want to use as a reference. I want to just go ahead and just trace it all so I can know exactly where everything is going to go. All right, so right here I'm just kind of doing like a rough template on this. This was 3/4 inch MDF. On some of my other videos, I was saying that it was gonna be 1 inch, but my local Home Depot only had 3/4 inch, which worked out just fine. It wasn't a big deal. All right, so I'm about to get to cutting. Now, for some reason, I do notice that for me, I get a lot cleaner cuts when I just flow with it. Like, I don't try to go super slow and take my time with it. I just move along. Like the smoother I go, the faster I go, the lines just come out cleaner. When I go too slow, I tend to go left and right and overcorrect too much. Curse. Something's always got to happen. So all I'm doing now is lining up the template from the original door panel, that original cardboard, just to kind of mark everything out in order to ensure that I'm not going to be cutting in the wrong places. All right, now this line that I'm going to be doing up here, this is also just a rough cut, because once I cut this off right here, it's basically like I'm going to sand it down to the point where it's going to be flush with that metal panel. All right, so now I'm going to be drilling a hole where the armrest is going to be bolted onto the door, and then also drilling a pilot hole so I could be able to put the jigsaw in and cut out that square. Now this square can be cut a lot smaller. I just went ahead and cut it the same size as it was on the original door panel. Now, when it comes to transferring patterns onto something, this is what I use. All it is a clear tablecloth that you can get at Walmart or probably any other store. But it's like, I think it was like $5. And you just lay it over whatever it is you want to transfer it from, trace it, and move it on over. And remember, basically what this line was right here is where those other plastics that are on the jambs were going to be hitting on this door panel. I like to trace these little points out right here because these are the ones that'll make it for sure where whenever you're lining something up, it'll line up perfect. Now I just like to use this little doohickey right here and just kind of make it more uniform. And as you can see, I can kind of tell that it's not exactly the same when it comes down to matching what's on the door jamb to what's going to be on the door panel. But it gives me a good reference of what's what, you know, like if I could just go like 1 inch from the edge, or if I have to kind of just go based off whatever the design of the car is. Now, of course, you know that just by rough cutting, it's not going to be perfect. I don't have a CNC machine, and I also don't have like perfect templates either. So pretty much what it is I just do a rough cut, and then I take my sanding block and I just block it down, leave it nice and smooth. And then when it's all said and done and I know it's nice and perfectly straight, then I make my angle cuts with my router. All right, so now I'm gonna install the metal hanger, and I only put about 3 or 4 screws just to kind of get it sturdy while I'm doing my fitment. Because if you put all the screws in there, and then when you take it off again for whatever reason, when you try to put those screws back in again, there's not gonna be enough like grab in there. It's not gonna bite in there. All right, so now I'm gonna be doing my initial setup right here. See if it fits. Hopefully the fitment fits good. All right. So the first problem is right here. Obviously, since I'm using 3/4 inch wood, it's gonna hit right there, and it's not. You know, it's the board is just straight, so it's not perfectly gonna fit. So I need to round off these edges right here. And you're gonna have to do this a couple of times. It's never just like, okay, you know, just knock this out and install it. You're gonna have to be going back and forth and back and forth. So here's just another reference line. Now I'm gonna be showing you how I do the edges. I've done this before on other projects, and it's just kind of like sculpting. You just have to freehand it. Is I have to cut these off because these sandpapers, I get them on Amazon, and I'll put a link down below because you don't want to buy sandpaper anywhere else. The cheapest place is Amazon by far. You know, I get them there. Some people might say they're cheap or whatever. I don't care because I grab these sandpapers and I use them for a little bit, throw them out. Use another one, throw it out. And the reason why I do that is because before I used to take care of them so much where I used to, you know, just get so tired from sanding with the sandpaper because I wanted to just, you know, make it last as long as possible. So one time I was so tired from sanding that I left the box out and my dog ripped them all up. So from now on, I just go ahead and just, grab another one whenever I start feeling it's going out. All right, so now it's time to start doing some sanding by hand. And I just grab this sucker, roll it up twice. That way it just has a nice like round shape to it, and have at it. See how nice this came out right here? All right, so right here, I'm cutting out that panel that's going to be attached to the dash. You know that little panel that's on the side, the one I keep popping off and on, that little black panel on the side for the, like, I think it's for the fuses. So I'm making this little piece right here to extend that dash the 3/4 of an inch out to fill in that gap. All right, so now I'm just going to be popping this in. Door panel is installed. And that way what I could do now is be able to transfer over the design from the dash to the door panel so I could continue my design on the door panel. All right, here's the driver's side one. Also perfect fitment. So now I just took one of those little, pencils they got at Home Depot, and I cut it down to just about an inch so I could be able to get this pattern right here, because it was a little hard to get to right here. Sometimes you just got to kind of get creative. All right, now I'm just going to go over it with the marker just to make it official that this is the line right here. So I came up with a couple of designs and they weren't like all perfect. This one was one of them, and I think I am going to go with the name though. I'm going to stick with the name, the shitbox. Let me know what you guys think about that name. So I did one on that one, I did one on this one, and I don't know, I kind of just like this one because of the simplicity of it. For one, because the car itself is not being built super crazy. I know it's getting parts from all over the place, from different cars, but I'm not really going for that, squared up box look. Even though it is a box Chevy, but you get what I'm saying. Like those new interiors, they just got so much going on with them. I kind of wanted to just be more simple, if that makes any sense.
Killer.
All right, now, like I have said, it's not always going to be perfect, so you got to go ahead and just give it some little love right here and just sand it down. And I mean, all you can do is just leave it the best you can, you know? And for all you perfectionists out there, I tend to think that I have a little bit of OCD. I mean, I was diagnosed with it, by the way. But I mean, you got to keep in mind, you know, I'm into these door panels of around 150 bucks. You can't go wrong with that. And I'll just leave it at that. So now I'm just going to rinse and repeat and do the same thing for the second one. I'm not gonna lie though, once you start getting to this point right here, that's when the real happiness starts coming out. Like you start seeing the finished product, you know, that's why you always gotta trust the process and just keep going. Take it easy, Holmes. All right, so that's pretty much a wrap. Both of them are done. You know, they're all edged up inside and outside. Pretty much all I got to do now is just get a 1/4 inch MDF board and put it right on the back where those openings are at. And that's it. Then there's going to be another video when I wrap them. Actually, no, before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth these out right here. I got to put some Bondo right here, fill it up, and then kind of, you know, work them out. But I'm going to have to install some LEDs and the speakers, and then also wrap them also in the material. So everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We really do appreciate it. Peace.